Coach's Corner is your source. Baseball, football, soccer, and hoops. The Coach's Corner has the scoop. It's the Coach's Corner with Andy.
Covering Tri-State sports, it's the Coach's Corner with Andy on 92.1 The GOAT.
It's the Coach's Corner.
We're back here on the Coach's Corner, and Grant's still here with us. So, Grant, we just talked about the MVP race a little bit in the NFL. Let's talk a little bit about the Rookie of the Year candidates coming up on offense. First, we'll go over some of the honorable mentions that are listed. Some are my opinion, some are experts' opinion, whatever website I'm looking at here.
I got you.
But some of these names on here, I kind of look at and I'm like, yeah, I don't think Rookie of the Year, but a lot of them, like Xavier Worthy, the Kansas City Chiefs, having an excellent rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman's been a game changer for the Buffalo Bills some games. Marvin Harrison Jr. has had a lot of really good games for the Cardinals, but he's also had a lot of really bad games.
Right.
And then you have Malik Neighbors, who I feel like is just in a bad situation at New York. They don't really have a decent quarterback. I feel like if he had like a Jordan Love or a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson thrown to him, it would be a different story. And then Brian Thomas Jr. on the Jaguars as well, another situation. You're just a bad team,
Right.
Bad quarterback situation, but still getting the job done. Coming in at number 5, how he's still on this list or considered, I don't know. Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears. We talked a little bit about this earlier. We're not big fans of Caleb Williams.
No, not at all.
I don't like his arrogance. I don't like the attitude that he brings. Some people see it as intensity, but like you said, Tom Brady was intense, but he wasn't a for lack of a nicer term, a jerk.
Yeah.
Because I guess you could say,
Yeah.
what do you do? Call out his punter, blamed him for losing the game.
He got drafted and texted his punter and said, "Hey, you're not going to be punting all that often." And I told you earlier, he has more yardage in punts than Caleb Williams has passing, which is hilarious.
And that Washington Commanders game comes to mind. Yes, they won on pure luck, a Hail Mary. But at the same time, when they cut the camera to Williams, just the look on his face, like the disgust, like, did you guys really just lose that game? Like, I don't think that's how you carry yourself out on the field, especially when you're a quarterback and you're leading your team. You let it go, wait till you get to the locker room, then express the emotions. Unless they're, happy emotions or anything like that. But don't look disgusted on the field. That's just my opinion. The man can throw the ball, don't get me wrong, he's talented, but I think he thinks he's far ahead of his years than he actually is.
Didn't he say he wanted to have part ownership of a team before he was even drafted at one point? Or was that all speculation?
I don't know how true it was, but I heard that rumor, and his dad had something to do with it too, or something along those lines. I forget the whole story, but
that right there would have had you fall to like number 199 pick overall.
not for teams that need a quarterback, apparently, which the Bears were one of them.
They're willing to deal with whatever.
Yeah, right. I like this next pick though. Brock Bowers. I liked Brock Bowers going into the season overall. It's kind of one of those situations where the teams kind of, I don't want to say they gave up on the season, but they got rid of Adams, they traded away some other pieces. They were definitely in a rebuild mode coming up on the trade deadline.
Yeah, for sure.
Brock Bowers had a great game, over 140 yards receiving yesterday. Not a lot of tight ends reached that stat, and he did it as a rookie. And he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got 706 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns while playing for the Raiders, who ranked 29th in scoring. So I think that's respectable. Now, is he going to catch up to any of the Rookie of the Year candidates that are quarterbacks? Probably not, but at least he's in the race.
Yeah.
So I like that one. Drake May is another one on this list here. He kind of had a rocky start on the season. I think obviously he didn't have the starting job to begin with. Who did they have? Jacoby Brissett? Is that who it was? The starter,
I think Brissett was.
Yeah, Brissett
was their starting quarterback there for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, but they got rid of Mac Jones, right? The Patriots last season.
Yep.
Went over to the Jaguars. So they drafted May in the draft, looking to possibly bring him in. A lot of people were really high on Drake May in the draft. I think he was expected to go over Daniels, I think. He
Mhm.
was one of those top 5 picks. Yeah, Drake May got the start a couple weeks ago. He's been the
Mhm.
starter for probably about 4 weeks or so.
Mhm.
He's been doing really well. The Patriots are obviously not going to be making any playoffs anytime soon,
Yeah.
but he does have a chance at Rookie of the Year if he can, manage to keep New England at a decent pace, keep the morale up there, be a leader on that team, continue to be a leader. The future's bright again for New England, so hopefully they stay on track for that because it's been tough watching the Patriots this year. They're usually a team,
I
you
like
know. Well,
it.
I like some of the players on the team.
Yeah.
I never liked the organization as a whole.
Mhm.
Nobody likes the team that wins everything, unless you're actually a fan of the team. So
We've seen enough of that over the years. For
yeah,
20 years,
exactly,
it's been
exactly.
crazy. No, my sister-in-law's a big Patriots fan, and
Okay.
I, she always talks about, they reminisce about Tom Brady and all
Yeah.
this stuff. It's how many Super Bowls you got? It's like, first off, man,
Oh Lord.
get out of here.
So the next guy on the list here, if I wasn't a huge Washington Commanders fan and wasn't on the Jaden Daniels train, this would probably be my guy I would pick. Bo Nix. This dude has turned it around in such a drastic way this year. I don't know if you remember, there was one game where I think he threw for 70 yards or something like that, some kind of atrocious stat, and looked absolutely horrible. And we're thinking, what is this dude even doing in the league? And now he's out here almost beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Yesterday afternoon, he threw for over 300 yards. I think 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's definitely showing that he can help a team win. He really probably doesn't have a chance to catch up to Jaden Daniels because Jaden's doing special things in Washington. But Bo Nix has earned his respect, I think, and I think again, future being bright, it looks good for the Broncos.
Out of everybody we talked about, he actually deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, he does deserve. I agree.
I don't. Brock Bowers, he has an argument. He's played pretty much the entire season up to this point. Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May. Drake May, if he wins Rookie of the Year, he must have
paid.
If he wins Rookie of the Year, I feel like the Patriots have to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
the only way. He gets Rookie of the Year.
So we all know who number 1 is. We'll get to that in a minute. But would you throw anybody else in the mix besides the ones we mentioned?
Not really.
Yeah,
not really. A lot of the rookies that are playing, they're doing well, but they're not changing an organization. They're not changing an offense. They're not. Their presence is felt and sprinkled in. You know what I mean?
I agree. If I was going to put anybody else in the conversation, like just picking from that honorable mention list we talked about earlier, I would probably put in Worthy on the Chiefs. He's probably been the most.
Yes. Yeah, why he's not even on this list.
Yeah, I think he should be on the list over.
He's a game changer just with his speed. Anytime he's on the field, he's a threat.
I would put him over Bowers and May for sure, and even Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams has a spot on this list because he's a quarterback.
That he was the number 1 pick. That was it.
That too, yeah. So I feel like you kind of gotta put him on this list. He's having some success. His team's not having success, but stat wise, he's not doing horrible. But that's not the only outlying factor. So let's not stall it anymore. We'll get to number 1, Washington's savior, Jaden Daniels. Obviously, he's the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year. He's a dual threat weapon. They were calling him Offensive Rookie of the Year from like week 3 when he had that breakout game against Cincy.
Yep.
And
just give it to him now.
He's regressed a little bit over the weeks, but it's normal for a rookie. It was going to happen. It was just a matter. It wasn't a matter of if; it was a matter of when it would happen. And I feel like the way he's handled it and the way he's come back from those mistakes that he's made, I like the way he handles himself. He's very professional. You can tell. You can just tell he was coached well, at the college level, and it's overall. I feel like he's got all of the tools to be the best Rookie of the Year choice. I'm not just saying
Yeah.
that because I'm a Commanders fan, but that has something to do with it.
Well,
But,
he won the Heisman last year, right?
he did win the
So
Heisman.
he was the one who had in his jacket, he had all of the names of his teammates,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
That right there is awesome.
That's cool.
He knows that it's not him or not
And
on
you-
him.
Yeah,
know,
and you could just tell when he was drafted the present or the locker room presence. You could tell the team changed, the chemistry changed.
Mhm.
People were actually excited he was in there. I remember when the Commanders drafted Chase Young.
Mhm.
I think he went second overall. Don't
Yep.
quote me on the year. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, whatever
It
that
was
was.
like
I
4.
don't- Maybe 4 years ago.
Mhm.
But he was a really highly touted deep defensive lineman coming out of, where did he go to school? Was it Alabama?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Thank you. But a great pick. But I feel like a lot of people weren't really excited like they were excited when Daniels was picked.
Mhm.
I feel like Daniels has been polarizing from the minute he was picked.
Yeah.
A lot of people doubted him, size-wise,
Mhm.
and that hasn't held him back. Clearly, he got injured, the rib injury. He came back. He rebounded.
Mhm.
He's playing safer. He's playing smarter. I wish he would slide more often, but, it is what it is. I guess you could say, he's gritty. He likes to win.
Football. How do you get somebody who is competitive to slide short in a game
Right.
of inches?
Exactly. I don't safety. That's why. But hey, going into the football game, going into playing football in general, the risk. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
that's what I
I mean-
always say. That's what I always say when the conversation to Tua comes up. He knows the risk. He knows what he's getting into.
Tua Tagovailoa reminds me of Travis Pastrana in regards to
Fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, and how Travis Pastrana, X Games gold medalist, rally car racer, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But he says, I will do this because this is my life, and I will die doing what I love. And
Okay.
Tua's the same way. And it's just yeah, but what at the
Right.
expense of your health, mental health. You have family.
Yeah.
Either way is going to be hard on the family, but
Not that not having a family discredits anything happening to you concussion wise, but when you're a single person, you don't have kids relying on you, and a wife that is there for you and all that, and you're on your own. It's a little different. I think you should still take the same steps, but you got to think about it a little more when you have that family, and like you said, your mental health, that's just as important as the physical health. So yeah, Tua's another day, another conversation. We don't have an extra 30 minutes to talk about that.
yeah, I've got clients coming in here soon.
But yeah, it'll be cool to see the Rookie of the Year race shape up a little more. Maybe we'll have some new names to talk about coming up in the next coming weeks. We'll have to see. Like I said, I'd like to see Xavier Worthy be in the running for it too. I think that'd be cool.
I think he should definitely be at least an honorable mention and be on that list to me. He's doing really good.
Yeah, but obviously, it's clear and cut right now. It'll most likely be Daniels. But yeah, so we'll see how that works out. And thanks for coming by today. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate your time as always. And
thank you for having me.
Of course, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.